Hi, thank you so much for taking a look at this. I just wanted to do a small update, and I have been sick for a couple of weeks now. I know a lot of people have gotten this nasty bug that's going around. And part of what's the worst thing about being sick is that it usually also makes me really anxious and sad. So, as a way to kind of perk myself up, I thought I would do a little project that I've been meaning to do, i.e., a sketchbook tour. So, for me in sketchbooks, it was not until my second year of university until I ever actually filled an actual sketchbook, drawing at that scale and in that way, it has not always been a thing for me, but I do really enjoy it. So, back in the summer, I decided, hey, I need to work on a sketchbook. And my goal was to fill every page. Um, I had actually seen a sketchbook tour video on YouTube, and it really kind of opened my eyes to, yeah, this is something that can be like a good little practice. I am someone who likes to keep notes and do little keep little stickers and things that people have given me, things like that. So, yeah, here we go. In this book, I've used mostly markers and crayons, and I find that as a medium, these kind of open, it feels like less high stakes. And I also coming out of university where everything feels like it needed to have a meaning. I was really more just focused on I just want to practice drawing, especially faces and people. This is, yeah, one of the things that I was doing is kind of keeping scraps and gluing them into the sketchbook. Yeah, I used a lot of reference pictures off Pinterest. This was one of them. Lots of line work. Over the last couple of months since I graduated, I have had a couple of weird experiences, or I guess the best way to say it is things just have not worked out the way that I thought they would. Both with a residency that I was in and an art job that I was in. These are contour practices. Anyway, both of these things kind of were a little bit strange they both made me realize that art and art making for me also has a lot to do with relationship and rapport. And if there's weird dynamics at play or, disrespect and things like that, it's just not going to work for me. So yeah, it's good for me to know those things about myself, although I would say that I've known those things about myself, but I just saw them play out in different ways. And I mean, the residency was still fine. I just it lacked something. And the job on paper, dream job for me. In practice, I'm someone who leadership matters to me, and if people are acting without integrity, I just can't be there. So I didn't stay. Side note, one thing with the working in crayon and whatnot, if you press on a different page, it can kind of make a mirror image, which was not always my intention, but created a lot of these kind of doubles. And then I also started covering them up with packing tape, which I feel was pretty fun. Or it does something to it. It really glary in this video, but in person it kind of just gives it an extra something. I've listened to something, maybe it was a podcast, and it was talking about how portraits, when the viewer, or when the subject is looking directly at the viewer, it's really jarring, and I kind of felt that with with some of these, or I feel I learned that. what else can I tell you about? Yeah, so we're just in kind of an interesting time where things feel unclear about what is happening and where I'm going and what I'm doing, but things are, like applications are happening, ideas are happening, and we'll see kind of what plays out. These are both drawings of Nick Cave's sound suits. Nick Cave, I love his work very much. I also love, train hopping hippies. So I feel like a bunch of the references were things from that. I also was looking at like tarot cards, and these are from the Queer Tarot deck. Yeah. Our collective is considering a new name. Beard Cat Collective is on there, and this is a drawing that came out of that conversation for sure. We watched, there's like a documentary on wrestling that we watched, and I feel like that's where this came from. This is a drawing of an art piece by an artist in Calgary named Mark Giles. He was one of my instructors, and I happened to cross paths with him in an art showing where his studio is at, and yeah, I really loved it. It's a collab with my niece, or with my nephew, actually. We're making a race car again. Oh, these are studies of sculptures that were down at Contemporary Calgary. They were these incredible, vibrant polar bears. This is kind of like a pattern that I often do when I'm doodling and I need to like listen to something. That's like, I'm pretty sure I did this in a work training. Oh yeah, I did do these in work trainings. So it's like 6 hours of doodling, but it helps me focus, helps me pay attention. I actually really love these drawings of my niece and nephew from Christmas. Oh, my buddy Craig and his twin brother. These are like, yeah, unsettling but also endearing portraits of myself and Salim. Yeah, a lot of this like contour stuff, it also feels like less pressure and things come out interestingly. I feel like towards the end I started like, yeah, gluing a lot of things in from just like doodle pages that I had, and yeah, finished it off with a Furby fam.